Hello and welcome to Zee Commodity Capsule. Oil prices have managed to edge higher, hovering near 1.5-week high, with Brent crude prices trading very close to $70 a barrel. Oil managed to extend gains on Tuesday, lifted by hopes of improved economic activity after the US-EU trade deal, a potential US-China tariff truce, and President Donald Trump's shorter deadline for Russia to end the Ukraine war. With this, even WTI crudes, that's the US crude futures, managed to hover past $66 a barrel. In fact, both the contracts we had seen in the previous trading session managed to edge higher by nearly 2%. And Brent crude prices managed to touch the highest level since July 18th on Monday. We saw a trade agreement between United States and European Union which sidestepped a full-blown trade war, ensuring in return a global stability and hence a stable global demand as far as oil was concerned. Trump has set a new deadline on Monday of 10 or 12 days for Russia to make progress towards ending the war in Ukraine or face sanctions. Trump has threatened sanctions on both Russia and its buyers of exports unless progress is made. Coming on to gold prices, they have barely changed. It's holding below $3,400 an ounce on Tuesday amid easing fears of global tariff war and a stronger dollar. Having said so, dollar index is hovering above 98.50 mark, which happens to be its best level in past 2 weeks. We have seen that US and China economic officials met in Stockholm on Monday to resolve a long-standing economic dispute at the center of a trade war, seeking to extend a truce by at least 3 months. Having said so, investors now await a set of US macroeconomic data this week, which includes the inflation figures along with the employment report. Also, another major event is the Federal Reserve's two-day policy meeting, which happens to start today. That's on 29th of July. It is also on tap with expectations largely pointing towards rates being held steady. Copper prices, meanwhile, have slipped on both London and Shanghai exchanges on Tuesday. Traders weighed the ongoing US-China negotiations and the talk between Chile and US over the latter's 50% copper tariffs on August 1st. Copper on LME dropped to hover in a very tight range between $9,700 and $9,800 a metric ton, while US copper, that's the COMEX copper futures, held below $5.6 per pound on Tuesday after having lost nearly 3% in the previous trading session. Let me remind you, Chile, which happens to be the world's top copper producer and one of the largest exporters of copper to the United States, expect the US copper tariff to be discussed within the broader US trade talks in Washington this week. Last but not the least, Malaysian palm oil futures, it has once again hovered near 4,300 Malaysian ringgit per ton, rising for the first time in 3 sessions, supported by weaker ringgit, gains in Dalian soya oil. Also, robust demand from India is expected to continue ahead of Diwali in mid-October.